All right, welcome to the 100K subscriber stream. This is kind of crazy. It's been a while since I've done YouTube live streams, 3 months to be precise, but I have been live streaming over on Twitch, so it's not like I'm a complete noob. But yeah, I just want to make this live stream to just say thank you all. Super gracious. I've seen, Mitchell in chat. God, you've done a lot. Seen tons of comments. R.W. Barbie, or Bimby, Bimble. Bimby? No, Bimby. Don't get me started on names. You guys know how bad I am with names in English. So, God, it's just been so great. Just like I said, all the contributions to make it possible. Like, all the comments, people steering me in the right direction. I think a lot of people are still taken aback about it, that I've only been on Linux desktop for a year, and I really attribute a lot of the content and the success of the channel to just reading the comments and just kind of fielding all those. So it's been great. Jess, good to see you. We'll see if we get the silver play button. That's always a weird thing. I actually looked into it because I was like, what is that actual, somebody called it something different, like a silver play award. And what happens is you just log in one day to your creator studio and they'll give you like a redemption code. But no, not everybody gets it. I guess it depends on the content. I imagine we get it, but it'd be awesome. We'll see. Probably get it in like a year and a half. I hear it takes a while, so hey, it's pretty awesome. But I really enjoy it, and just like I said, just so grateful for all the support and help that I've gotten over the past year. I mean, a lot of people don't realize I've only been uploading to YouTube for a little more than a year. I think it all pretty much started in September, October of 2018. So that just kind of shows you how powerful Linux is. I think a lot of more Linux creators will probably come up and really do well. And I know DistroTube, he's only like a 2-year-old channel or so. So there's a lot of young Linux creators out there, and just great to see it. It's been fantastic. So, and I love it. And every day I'm learning something new. That's kind of the crazy thing about it as well. That's one thing most people don't realize is I'm still such a noob. I still consider myself having a lot to learn. So I just keep trying to make more educational content and do that. Less of fill in the blank is the devil pieces, even though I will do that every once in a while, just to get a good charge out of everybody. So, hey, Yum, how's it going? Yeah, David pops in Twitch quite a bit. I've been talking with Yamita. I'm horrible with names. It's great. I really butcher usernames. I should get better about that, but you know. I'm a startup in my garage. That's right, man. A lot of people don't still realize that this is just the corner of my garage. Like, I love the trickery of the wide panel. Like, I can almost touch each wall in here. It's so great. It's so great. I love it. Oh, man. Yeah, I keep trying to keep up the content as far as being educational and not fall back onto just covering news articles and stuff. I think some people can do it, and there's definitely some channels that do a great job of it. But one thing I don't want to do it for me, it would be a little more lazy than creating a lot of tutorial content. That's like one thing I really want to stay away from. Is I don't mind doing the occasional news piece, but I don't want it to be a sole focus of the channel, and it never will be. As long as I got a say in it, that's for sure. But I've just been having such a great time. A lot of people, I think, have commented and just, shown so much encouragement. It's been fantastic. Almost the exact opposite of what you hear YouTube's about. So I really do enjoy just hearing from everybody. It's been just fantastic. So yeah, and I still refer people back to the old videos. I actually have a video coming out here. Oh God, what is it? Saturday's video, or it might be Monday's video. I can't. No, it's Saturday's video where I refer someone back to the. You'll see it in the title card. Back to the original 30-day Linux challenge that really, I think, catapulted the channel and really got it all going. The whole start of it, you can see where I began the Linux experience, and it's kind of cringy watching those early videos, but I love those early videos, and I'll never take them down, just because, one, you can just see that beginning experience, something I can never replicate again. I can never just get that lifetime Windows user tries Linux for the first time. And I think it all started with a comment with someone trolling me, and that's what got that whole ball rolling, which is kind of funny. But it's just been fantastic. Windows Server virtualization. Yeah, you get me in Hyper-V, and that's a sad day. I'm not a big fan of Hyper-V. There are people that love Hyper-V, but I'm just not one of them. I've been a big proponent of Zen Server, or Xcpng actually now. Zen Server actually got locked behind a paywall for bare metal virtualization, and now Xcpng kind of took up that torch and they forked it, and still have all the same features and stuff of actually what Citrix offers through Zen Server now, which is pretty awesome. It's just awesome. I love it. Yeah, the growth has been insane. Like, I can't imagine, like, even if it would like just completely plateau tomorrow, I'd be totally happy where I'm at. I'm so just grateful for the number I've achieved. I think some people are like 2 million or 7 million or whatever it might be. I'm like, no, that's okay. I really love what I do, how everything is right now. I just love my setup, and I think a lot of people are actually surprised too. I still have my day job, and I still really enjoy my day job. It's been fantastic. I actually had my year-end review today, so I actually was talking to my bosses at my regular job, which is a law firm in Dallas, and they were like, hey, yeah, we love, it's worked out well. You go into 2 days a week, and they seem very happy with it. And I was like, well, I'm fucking ecstatic with it. I was like, hell yeah, I love this. This is great. So I'll still be doing actual IT work, and for the foreseeable future. I don't really have any plans to stop that, because it's just awesome, and you actually get they're still giving me some benefits, so I'm able to get health insurance for my family and other stuff, which is just fantastic. So I'll still be doing IT, so I'll still have that, not lose my edge per se, and just fall into the YouTuber trap where you're just churning out videos. And then also I do live streaming over on Twitch too. You've probably seen it on the videos and stuff, so I can do that, and that's just so much fun. I love it. Can you use embedded graphics and pass through a GPU on Xcpng? Yeah, you can actually pass through a GPU, but Distro Noob, I should point out, when it comes to Xcpng, those are headless servers, meaning you can't use it like Unraid. Like, if you look at Linus Tech Tips, which he has some residential content on Unraid, you're using one box to power multiple things where you can allocate GPUs to certain VMs. Xcpng is actually a bare metal hypervisor, and you can't really game or do anything physically on the machine with Xcpng. You can actually just tie into it. So I do a lot of pass-through and like Windows programs in Linux. I did a little video on that. That's when I did the little business series, and I'm going to revisit that. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I've seen so many sudo apt install. Oh, I love it. It's so great. Yeah, it does give me a lot of perspective, Mitchell. I absolutely love the perspective of having that IT job. Like just the other day, running into duplicating a huge data set. I was having to push out, it was a discovery for some legal case, and they came to me and like, hey, we need to produce in a day roughly 20 or 30 terabytes of data. And I was like, well, I'm gonna have to set up something for that and get that start rolling. So I got a bunch of drives and then just pushed it all through, and it went out pretty good. Definitely overloaded the USB bus, but it worked out good. LTT's going down. Oh no, Linus can keep the talk spot. I don't ever want to be that big when it comes to that. I think a lot of people don't appreciate Linus Tech Tips for what it is. Now that I've been on YouTube for a year or so, I would have to say that's kind of impressive. That man has been doing YouTube for 10 years. He's produced a video every single day. That's crazy to me. And he employs like 30 people, which sounds like a nightmare. Like, I hate managing people. If I'm being real, I love being responsible for myself and just coming out here and making a video. I just love that whole experience. I couldn't imagine having like a writer and a teleprompter and like a 8K red camera shooting. No. I mean, the rendering alone on that process and just the storage of 8K footage. Anyway, I could go on a whole rant about how I just hate that whole setup. But then again, maybe my perspective changes a little bit after being on YouTube for like 10 years. I'm sure it does. But yeah, I look at that and I'm like, hell no, I don't want that. Anywho. Oh yeah, no, it'll always be Chris Titus Tech. I always will promote tutorial videos and educational content. That's always been my whole passion, is just being on here and just putting out quality content that people can learn on. I really don't want to go to sensational content or you know, the low-hanging fruit, as I like to call it. I'll venture there every once in a while, but I try not to. Right now, this is actually a Brio. I was having a DSLR. I actually had a DSLR set up, I think, a couple months ago for my last live stream, but it had a real low frame rate. It was going through the USB instead of actual HDMI, and I don't have proper capture cards yet. The capture card I want has like 4 HDMI ins, and once I get that, I'd probably do it, but that's going to be probably a couple $1,000s to set all that up. So right now, I'm just using a little USB Brio. And then for the actual mic, you guys probably have noticed in the recent video, this is the official Joe Rogan podcast mic. Legendary voice. Oh, I love it. Boom. There we go. The Shure SM7B. It's a pain in the butt to set up, but damn, it sounds good, so I love it. You've seen the blurbs about Microsoft emerging Linux offering. Sounds scary now. Microsoft has a platform seat on Linux Foundation. John Oz, I'm not too worried about it. A lot of Linux stuff, I like to keep out of a lot of big companies' controls, and I just don't see any issue. However, I probably will troll you guys with an upcoming video where I install Microsoft Teams and Microsoft, what is it? Defender? Or Windows Defender? No, it's called Microsoft Defender now. So yeah, I'll definitely be trolling some folks on that video. No question about it. Yeah, I mean, Linus Tech Tips does appeal to, I'm sure our demographics are about, his is probably about 10 years younger than mine. The demographics of this channel, just so anybody knows or cares, is about 30 years old, is about the average age. So we have a really good spread. I love it. It's just friggin' awesome. So, Siberian Cat, man. Thank you for all the comments, man. I love seeing you guys in the comments. Yeah, I actually gone through like 3 mics, or 4 mics actually, in the channel's history now. I started out with a Yeti, moved to a Blue Spark, which is a condenser mic as well, and it just picks up a whole bunch of crap. And I actually have an air conditioner here in the studio, and that's when I went to a dynamic mic, and my first dynamic mic was the Electro Voice Indy 76, and then I was like, okay. It had like this weird crackle, and the gain had to be pushed up too high. And then with the SM7B, it just sounds so much cleaner. I love the sound of this microphone. Freaking awesome. Yeah, that is a little odd. I didn't even notice that, but it is upside down. It's a good point. What the hell, Sure? You've been making mics for 30 years. Hey, that's awesome. And like I said, I want to appeal to a whole host of people when it comes to, if you want to learn to do whatever it is in the IT field, I'd love to teach it. That's my thing. And right now, it's just Linux desktop. Oh my God. I just love my current setup. Like in this past month or two, you guys have probably noticed on the videos, a lot of the desktop itself has changed. And I've gone through this huge evolution from just having like stock KDE with a couple customizations to now it's really, really heavily customized. But God, I absolutely love it. It looks just beautiful. It responds great. The workflow, my efficiency and productivity has gone way up. God, it's so wonderful. Yeah, I mean, yeah, thank you, Josh Johnson. 100K, that's amazing. It's nuts. I don't even know. I don't ever look at actually how many people are chatting. It's like one of those psych out things whenever you stream. Like if you watch it and it's like, oh my God, there's 200 people watching you. That can mess with you a little bit. Although, you know, I did some public speaking. It's been a while since I've done public speaking though. I mean, it wasn't something I never minded it, but I never was like, oh my God, I can't wait to speak in front of a whole bunch of people. It's all kind of like, eh. To me, I like working on computers. That's my jam. Metasploit. Oh, hey, there's nothing wrong with the GNOME experience or GNOME. It's great for like a lot of laptops and smaller. I don't mind it on a smaller laptop. As I still don't like GNOME. You'll never get me to say I love it. You know, to each his own. But they do have it. It's clean. It's a clean interface at least. When are you coming to India? Next year. As soon as I get the invite. What are you talking about? Oh, Snort. Oh, and you wanted me to go over some security stuff, some intrusion protection, that type of thing. That'd be cool, Shane. I've been meaning to load up Kali Linux and do a little bit of a security walkthrough for some folks, but I haven't really. I need to delve back into that as I'm not as sharp as I once was. I actually used Knoppix, which was actually Kali Linux was forked off of Knoppix, so that was pretty cool. Thanks for the $5 there, Original Turd Bird. That is a great name. Turd Bird. But yeah, no, I actually used Knoppix back in the day, hacking old WEP Wi-Fi's and stuff. It was great. You could crack a Wi-Fi in an apartment complex in about, you know, a couple minutes. It was pretty sweet. Sparky, glad you could make it, man. 100K people watching you, derp. Oh, that's awesome. What did I title this stream? You know, usually Sparky, actually, let me give him mod. Sparky's one of the mods over on Twitch, actually. Ah, there we go. I gave you mod. So now everybody's going to get banned. But yeah, no, Sparky's over in Twitch quite often, and Hikari, no, he's over in Norway, so he's probably a little bit off on this time. Yeah, Jess, I think you're a mod on Twitch as well, because you've been there since I think 1,000 viewers or less. So great. Yeah, like I said, a lot of it, it's just so nice to get the comments and the feedback from the community, and like the Discord, having all that run with OG over there, Black Hat, all the people that contribute to that and help people out, help people adopt Linux. I mean, it's really neat to see this huge community and people just kind of band together and help everyone out that's coming to Linux. And my whole goal of the channel has always been to help Linux desktop adoption, help demystify it, help make it so just so the everyday man can just jump on there, or everyday woman can jump on there and use it. And I love getting better at that. I still think a lot of the videos I need to remake and redo and expand on a lot of the content I've made to help realize that vision, because that's always been my mission, is really just to see Linux desktop have more than it is, because it deserves such a bigger piece of the pie than what it has. I think it was at 2% in early what was it, mid 2018, and right now I think it's sitting at like 4%. But it's really hard. We don't really know because of some of the privacy and security that's in Linux, so that number could be a lot higher. I just know I absolutely love Linux desktop. It's so great. I just hate dual booting back until I absolutely have to. I actually had to dual boot back into Windows. Actually tonight, I was actually in Windows. Guilty as charged. But my son and daughter wanted to play Dauntless. It's like some new, it's a pretty cartoonish game where you slay big beasts or something. So we were all playing that tonight. It was quite fun. But it has easy anti-cheat. It was working in Linux, and then you know how you guys know the story of easy anti-cheat. They need to hurry the hell up and get that going on Linux. But easy anti-cheat team has been working with Valve to get it into Proton and some other things. So I'm really hopeful here in the next couple months we're going to see that come through. I really do think, I know that's going to happen. It's not a question of if, it's more of a question of when. And I really think here in a month or two we're going to see that roll around, and it's just going to be huge. Not to hype it up or anything, but it's going to be huge. Huge. Oh, I love it. Yeah, there's a lot of good security channels already going over Kali Linux. There's some I've actually watched, a couple of them, Chopra. Yeah, I think when I'm Saturday's video is actually going to be going over Linux, and I made this video a couple different ways, and I like to kind of come at a different angle every time I make it. And for Saturday's video, it was why should you, or why would someone use Linux instead of Windows or Mac? And that's the whole title of the video, is why would you use Linux instead of Windows or Mac? And it just kind of goes over that. And a little spoiler here going into Saturday's video, it's just productivity. That's where I come from, just the actual practical use of Linux desktop once you learn it, and some of the software suites and stuff that come with it. That's why I use it. I mean, that's when you boil it down to one thing, that would be my one thing, because I'm so darn efficient and productive in Linux desktop. Oh man. Do you watch Hackersploit? I do not. I have seen a couple of his videos though. I don't get a lot of time to consume too much content because usually I'm working a couple days a week in my day job, and then I'm on Linux or here in the studio making videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday usually. And I try to do batch recording where I do about 3 in a shot or 3 in a go, but sometimes I'm up late doing it still. But it's kind of crazy to think, looking back, thanks a lot, Frank. Appreciate the congrats. Looking back on it, a lot of people I don't think realize, for I think what was it, September was when I put my first video, and then I did dailies from like October to October. And for about that first 9 to 10 months, I just stayed up until I could do a video. So I would get home from work, spend some time with the fam, jot some notes down for maybe a video, and then about 10 p.m. I would actually start shooting the video, and then I usually finish the shoot around 11, and then 11 I would edit until I was done with the edit. So sometimes the edits went fast and you're done, 11:30 or midnight, and then other times it ran to like 2 or 3 in the morning. Thank you, Keep It Techie, much appreciated for the super chat. So that's kind of like the first 9 months. I really just super passionate about it. I still am. I still love making videos. It's so great. And it's really especially nice for me because, again, I have that variety. I still have stuff to keep me grounded. One, I have the live streams, and I love live streams because you get that real-time interaction where people go, hey, I don't like that, or you should try this, and you can kind of make a better video when you do a lot of live streaming. I really like doing the 2 or 3 times a week live streams just because that kind of keeps me grounded. I'm able to make better videos from that. And also it makes it to where I don't have so many cuts, so it makes my edits a lot easier because it's just one streamlined thought, because you're just constantly talking, and you just get used to that, to where you actually hit the record button and you don't have a lot of jerky movement and a lot of filler words like and blah, blah, I hate watching YouTube videos and they just string along. And sometimes I've made videos like that and I'm just like, oh well, I'm gonna just have about 1 billion jump cuts to try and do it. Thank you, Eric. The L cars in the background. Everyone always asks about the L cars back there. That is actually System 47 by Mihu. They developed it in the late 90s for Windows 98. If you want to run this on Linux, you can. It does run in Wine. Look up how to run SCR files in Wine, and you can actually run a Windows screensaver on Linux through Wine using the compatibility layer, so it's completely awesome. Alpine Linux, Sebastian. Hey, thank you for all the comments, Sebastian. That's another person that has been in the channel forever. Shout out to Sebastian Johansson there. Great comments all the time. Alpine Linux, I had no intention of it, but now that you made that comment, I'm gonna add that right onto my keep here. I'll put Alpine Linux on here because I haven't really looked too much into Alpine. A lot of people have been asking about Zorin Linux as well, so I'll take a peek of it at that as well. I like to do more utilities and just kind of universal videos for Linux because I think no matter what you're on, whether you're a Debian user, Arch, or Fedora, or RHEL, whatever floats your boat, I love it. What if you're doing like switch to Linux while you live stream, you make videos so you can help the chat to help you keep correct. I like that, Jessica. I've been doing that a little bit. I started kind of dipping my toe in that on Twitch when I'm doing it, and it's worked out pretty well. I did, tomorrow's video is going to be multi-boot, and it goes over correcting multi-boot on, or dual boot of Windows and Linux when Windows overrides Grub, and it kind of shows and walks through that entire process. And I actually did that on stream for a lot of that, and then I came back in post and I had to reshoot some of that because I missed a couple little pieces that I think was real vital when you're doing that. It's because sometimes I just assume people know stuff, and you know what they say about assumption. But yeah, I definitely will check it out. I'm not huge on distros, but I do like to bounce around a bit. And lately, I have been just kind of rolling my own. You know, it's been great. Using Arch as a base has been my big thing. Yeah, that's the thing I love about the live streams. This is back and forth, just the reading. It's wonderful. Can you recommend a desktop PC for audio music making? Oh, Nature Guy. Oh, I cannot. A lot of audio music making, it's one of the spots, kind of a sore spot in Linux, to where I need to do a couple more videos on Jack, because right now, if you use just the stock, what gets put in most distributions, it's ALSA and also Pulse Audio, and those aren't great. And at least I don't like to use them the way that many people that are producing music like to use them. So Jack is more of an advanced add-on basically of that. So I need to just really dive into that, learn it a lot better, because I don't know it quite well enough. But if you're going to get into audio music making, look into Jack for Linux. How does a beginner learn Python when you're not good at math and have special needs? There's a lot of really good coding sites out there. Anything Computer. My daughter is actually 8 years old and loves coding. And a lot of it is having the mindset for it, or actually just thinking a certain way. Now, mind you, I'm not a coder. I actually started my career out in computer science. I really thought, you know, I wanted to create programs and things, and it just did not. It just did not. Hey, DT's in the house. How's it going, DistroTube? But it just did not really stick with me, and I loved coding and learning that whole experience, but actually seeing the application of it and what a lot of programmers go through, it's not something that I wanted to do. I didn't want to sit in a cubicle just writing code all day. So it's great for having that skill set, but I've lost most of it, and most of my coding was actually in C++. So there is that. Thank you for the super chat there, Sam. Much appreciated. But to learn Python, I'm trying to think of the site I was using, like Code Combat, I think was a good way to just start to learn Python a little bit. There's some other ones where it's actually interactive games, so if you have special needs and you're just trying to break into coding, there's a lot of really good like browser-based games you can play to start to learn some of that top-down technique and how a lot of the statements are made and some of the syntax, with ending lines with colons and or semicolons and those types of things. So there's some great ones, just some absolutely wonderful learning utilities out there. I'm always harping on my kids about that. Appreciate it. ESS Jam for the congrats. Would you agree that Arch Manjaro is easier for newbies than Debian? Some say Arch is not a good start, but think how easy it is to get software from AUR in comparison to Debian old packs. KHW, you have a fantastic point, and that's something I wanted to cover a bit more on the channel, especially with that. Arch is so badly misunderstood. I think a lot of people think it's like for advanced users, and the only reason that exists is because of the installation of Arch. And that's why, like, when I made my Arch install video, instead of just walking everybody through the commands, I mainly used a script. I used Archfy script. And that's how I got it in under like 10 or 15 minutes. Thank you so much for the super chat there, Peter Walker. I gotta say, that was one of probably the easiest ways for a noob to get started on vanilla Arch. But if they're a true newbie, I'd probably recommend Manjaro because it's such a great start for a newbie. However, seeing the stability aspect, and that's something I wanted to address, because some people, like to say Arch is not stable, and if you install certain packages and how you, there's just a couple golden rules you can't break, and Arch is extremely stable. So a good example of this is the longest running Linux desktop machine I have, and it's actually at my day job, is Vanilla Arch. I've been on Vanilla Arch at my day job for almost a whole year. Like, it was about a month or so after when I did that first 10-day Arch challenge. I've never reformatted that computer at my day job, and it's still running Arch. And there's a couple caveats to that, and I'll make an upcoming video about going over it. But Arch is actually a really fantastic distribution, and it is, again, a lot of people think it's for elitists and things like that. The whole, by the way, I use Arch theme. It's probably my favorite just because you get to choose what it does. You get to choose what's in it. It's just such a great distribution, and it's my favorite. It's absolutely my favorite distribution. A lot of people, I don't think, understand that, because I really mod out and just go all over the place with my distributions, because honestly, I don't really care. At the end of the day, Linux is Linux. It's just understanding the package managers with different distributions is really the big thing. Hey, Penguin Revolution, how's it going, man? Good to see you in chat. Appreciate all the comments, man. Over the years, you've been great help to me. That's awesome. Also, anybody in the chat, I think Penguin Revolution is actually a startup Linux channel. He just started, I think, a month or two ago, uploading videos. I actually checked out his channel the other day. So it's really good to see. I always encourage people like that. I think a lot of people think that you want a monopoly on videos of a certain content, and it's just the exact opposite, especially when it comes to YouTube. They got 2 billion monthly viewers, so that's a lot, and there's so much that still isn't covered. Like, when it comes to Linux, there's different ways of teaching, and there's so many great ones. Like, you have DistroTube that's in the channel. It has a great YouTube channel where it teaches a whole variety of things, goes into really great in-depth stuff. He covers almost everything I don't. Tiling managers, he does a really good deep dive, and then also does a lot of like Vim and V, and it goes into a lot of the text editing and just using terminal in a really coherent and fast and productive way, to where I haven't done very many videos of that, and honestly, he's just a lot better than me in terminal. You can quote me. That's a soundbite. DT, you can take that. You're welcome. But yeah, no, it's more about just getting more people in and just going for it, and that's what it is. Like, more people that teach Linux, the better. There's no real competition per se, is one thing I think some people Oh my God, yeah, Master of Diablo play. You told me that before, Penguin. I just so happened to forget, but I do remember you were below, actually, I think commenting when I was below 1,000 subs. So you were definitely one of the first subs in the channel. You and Jess, if she's still in chat. Yeah, I see Jess up there too. That's so great. Do a video on building your own custom distro. Yeah, I'm gonna probably do something kind of like that, Jordan. But I'm not gonna do like Linux from scratch or Gentoo build and those types of things. I've done actually Gentoo build, and it's just not very entertaining. It's not very educational for most people because of the length of time it requires to take, and also it's just not very user friendly for the everyday person. So it just doesn't fit a lot of the content I want to put on the channel. So that's why I don't do that. But to your point, Jordan, there is still building out the perfect distro. I don't think any distribution's perfect out of the gate. It is what you make it. I've said that a lot of times. And I'm gonna be making a video about the perfect Linux installation, or my perfect Linux installation. I'm gonna kind of walk you through some of the mindset I have when I'm creating like the actual distribution, you know, choosing the package manager using like Arch for instance, and then saying, you know what, I want the desktop environment to be KDE, or I want it to be Mate, or I want it to be LXDE or LXDE, you know, just whatever it might be. And I'm gonna lay out why I would choose one desktop environment over the other, because there's really good reasons to use any of them. A lot of people are always yapping about fragmentation, and to me, it's not fragmentation, it's options. And those options are really good depending on your needs. So there's a lot of times, there's never just one option that I'm like, oh, I always go with this, I always go with this, and I always go with this. There's so many reasons to choose each one, and I'd love to lay that out in a video of building your own distro. However, I'd probably have to think of the name, because a lot of the vets would skewer me if I said building my own distro and then I installed like Arch Linux or Vanilla Debian and then started modding it out. So, but I'll definitely go through that. It's definitely an upcoming video. I'd love it. Make a kid uses Linux for schoolwork video. It would be hilarious. Oh, I mean, my daughter has actually learned more on Linux than Windows now, so she'd actually be pretty at home. She's 8, so, and my son, he's mainly just into games. He doesn't really care as long as it plays his games. I switched to Linux because Microsoft is ending support for Windows 7. I've been using Linux with Windows 7 since it came back, since it came out in 2009. Yeah, anything computer or Windows related. That's a mouthful of a username, but I would say, yeah, the thing about Windows 7 is I hate it. Like now, like when Windows 7 came out back in the day, it was quite good. I mean, it fit a lot of the needs, and it was a fairly polished product, especially for Microsoft. So take that with a grain of salt when we're doing when I say that. But now it's just this abomination. Like if you do a vanilla Windows 7 install and then you go to update it, you're gonna have, I think, the full install. I did one, I think, a couple months back for a video of some sort. I forget why I was installing Windows 7, but I did install it and I updated it. It ended up being like 43 gigs, the whole install. And I was like, oh my God, this is just a bloated abomination. It's not even Windows 7 anymore, because a lot of Windows 7, I think it's had over 15 different patches for telemetry alone. So it's really not the same. Even people using Windows 7 now, it's a different thing. You might as well use Windows 10 now in that regard. So I hate to say that, but honestly, I don't want to give complete a pass on that, to where I say go ahead and install Windows 10, because I always say you need choice. And even when dealing with Windows, I would say if you're really stuck on Windows 7 and you really wanted a Windows 7-esque experience and past 2020 and beyond, if I wanted to, let's say if I wanted to use it as a daily driver, what I would do is I would install Windows Server 2008 R2. I would mod it out with a desktop experience. I would strip that down and make it just like Windows 7. And guess what? It wouldn't have telemetry. It wouldn't have all the extra BS that Windows 7 has. So a modern day Windows 7 here in 2019 versus a Windows Server 2008 R2, that 2008 R2 is going to perform so much better, and it's going to look almost identical and feel a lot better than that Windows 7 from 2019. So a good difference. So if you want to stay kind of locked in that era, that's a good one. And it's always kind of been like that with Windows. Like I remember there was a lot of people that didn't want to give up Windows XP, and I remember I had kind of a hacky solution on that. Microsoft used to have a POS terminal, and they kept updating it, and you could kept running Windows XP for a long time after it was EOL. So I've done that as well. So I don't think that's still going if you're on XP, but it lasted for a long time just for the point of sales and stuff. Thank you for the congrats there, beginner lockpick. Much appreciated. But oh man, in covering like Sparky's like Linux moves fast, things change so quickly, you'll never be able to cover 100% of Linux is so true. Like I feel like out of the year of every single day learning something new, some days I'm learning like 5 or 10 new things, and I gotta say I absolutely learn more. And even saying that, I would say I've learned maybe like 10% of what Linux has to offer. Maybe 10%. There's still so much I don't know. And I mean, that's how deep the rabbit hole goes in Linux. Will you build an LCARS Linux distro? John, I think there actually is already a LCARS Linux distro. I'll have to look it up. I do believe someone's actually made that theme, and I forget what desktop environment it was based off of, but there was an LCARS. I want to say it was i3 Window Manager. I remember seeing someone theme out i3 Window Manager with an LCARS. That would be kind of cool. I'll have to cover it up on an upcoming video. I'm gonna put that down. Yeah. The true reason for this live stream: grab video ideas from you guys. Pick your brain. i3 LCARS. We're gonna make that happen. I'm almost certain I've run across that on the internet. Oh, so great. LCARS is the Star Trek background here. So look, right there. That's LCARS. How it has this specific design. It's kind of a cool little thing, and you could do i3 Window Manager with it. I think we could make that look pretty darn cool. And it's a cool little UI. I forget who actually made it, but I think i3 LCARS is a thing. Don't quote me on that, but I do remember seeing something like that. And yes, MX Linux I do have to get, and I have on Discord. I've actually been on there. MX Linux. I'm gonna put that in there as well because someone has been asking about that. On Discord, I do have video suggestions. So if I don't see your suggestion in chat today, you can always head over to Discord, christitus.com/Discord if you're not already over there. Actually, I'll put it in chat here for you guys. But it is a good resource to have, especially if you're, just now getting into Linux and you want some assistance, because so many people over there are just fantastic. Oh yeah, actually, Raspberry Pis and derivatives. I've actually done, I think I've done a Pi-hole video. No, actually, I think I've only done a video over block lists there, Sparky. So I've done a lot of videos about that. Let me see. I think I actually have. Oh, let's see. I think. Yeah. Got a little Pi right there. So we can play around with that. I never throw anything away. I was using this for something. I can't remember what I was using it. I think it had RetroPie on it. I was using it for a retro emulation station for the kids and stuff. But it's a lot of fun. I love the Pi. There's so many cool projects, and if you want to get into it, you can go into like an Arduino and do some really crazy projects. I mean, the sky is the limit. I absolutely love Pis. It's been fantastic. Yeah. And I'm over on Twitch. I do stream 3 times a week over there, so I'm usually pretty good on my live streams. I've gotten a lot better. And if you want to see me kind of bumbling around and how it oh God, the first live stream I did on YouTube, That was fantastic. Actually, when I say fantastic, it's cringy as hell, but it's so much fun to watch because of how scared I was. So check out my first live stream. I think I live streamed 1,000 viewer, and you know what? I think I can actually play that on here. It would be great. It would be so much fun to actually play the first live stream I had, which I don't even know if it's still... No, it's on there. I think if you go to the playlist and hit live streams on YouTube, you can see the very first live stream I ever did, and it was bad, but it was fun. It was the first one, so hey. You going to try out the Bud Riley? Thank you, sir. Yes, I've already purchased pre-order for it. I'm part of the Braveheart batch, so I should get the very first batch of PinePhone, as I'm really looking forward to it. I really want to try any Linux phone, so if I could get my hands on a Librem 5, I would. I didn't want to pay $700 for the Librem 5, so that's why I didn't grab it. But you know, I think as they get through some of those production things and get it out, hopefully I can get a test model and actually get my hands on a Librem 5. I know the Linux Gamer just did an unboxing of the Librem 5, so I don't know how well it is, but when I get the PinePhone, I will be taking... I don't have my phone on me, but I will be taking my actual Pixel 3, putting it to the side, taking my SIM card out, and running 100% with the PinePhone. And that's how I'm gonna do my review video on it. I will be like, I have used the PinePhone for an entire week, and here's all the crap that doesn't work, and here's the crap that does work, and here's everything in between, and some of the hacky solutions I had to come up with. I can't wait to make that video, because I really, really want Linux phones to be a thing. So I support any Linux phone, whether it's Purism's Librem's line or the PinePhone. I think they'll all be just fantastic. So should you convert to a Fedora from Ubuntu? Neuron, I will always say yes to that question. Ubuntu's the devil. I had to give you guys at least one soundbite. But yeah, no, I really love Fedora so much better than Ubuntu. Out of the box, I think Fedora just has such a clean distro. I mean, it's so good and very stable. I've had it on a laptop inside for a long time, and my wife actually uses it for a lot of her schooling and stuff, so it works really well. I love it. Yeah, Ubuntu, I mean, in some stuff, I think people think, you know, not the literal devil, you know. I hate that I have to actually explain this, but I have kind of a quirky sense of personality. It's just, I'm a little weird, let's just say that. And I have a very dry sense of humor, so a lot of times when I say that, I say it kind of like tongue-in-cheek. When I say something's the devil, it's not like really, I don't think they're Satan or anything. It's just more of a phrase. So I think a lot of the stuff they've done in the past I haven't liked, and it's just my way of saying that. So that's what I say when, hey, they're the devil. You know, it's like the Microsoft of Linux is how I would describe Ubuntu. If I was being literal, I would say that's how I would describe Ubuntu, you know. But I understand some people like Ubuntu, and I totally get it. And I still have, I think, an Ubuntu server spun up on one of my VMs. So it's not like I'm like, oh, I won't ever touch Ubuntu, because I will. Ubuntu server, I'll usually install, and the very first thing I do is remove the snap package. I really don't like snaps, as you guys have seen in some of my videos, that's for sure. Have a good night there, Present Arms. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, Ubuntu isn't that bad, but yeah, Fedora 31 and some other stuff, it's really good. I love Fedora, I really do. I think it's a great distro. Linux Mint, I think, is great for Windows users. Very good. The Cinnamon desktop environment is very friendly for someone coming over. So I don't really cover Cinnamon very much because I don't personally like it that much, but I can see the appeal for so many people. And my mother-in-law actually runs Linux Mint, so I installed that on her, and it just has worked for her, so it's great. Peppermint, very lightweight, love it. It's a fantastic distribution. So you know, there's not very many distributions I absolutely hate. Like I said, you can put me on any distribution, and usually what I'm doing with the distribution is, as soon as I install a stock distribution, is I'm going through and looking at what packages are installed. So if, let's say, here, I'll actually pull over on my desktop so you guys can kind of see. But let's say I'm on here, and, oh, I don't even have my desktop up. Well, that's a great little black screen you guys can see. Ah, well, all right then. Underwhelming. There we go. Technical problems. But yeah, like, I usually would like go, this is actually an Arch-based system, but if I was gonna do anything, the first thing I would do on this system on a fresh install, let's say it's Manjaro, I would actually, oh my god. No. I'm in the middle of streaming, man. Don't message me. Alright, so I do like a queue just to see what's installed. And then from there, I could go, okay, I have all these packages installed, and then I can kind of flip through and see what packages I don't want, and then I would uninstall that. So that's how I usually start any distro, is de-bloating it, per se. Anywho. Yeah. That's why I was like, I don't really care about any distro in particular. Like I said, every distro is just a starting point. And once you get that in your head that there's no distro that's a silver bullet, no distro that's perfect out of the box, and you just figure out where's a good starting point for me, and then you just install that distro, and then you start working and getting all that array. Like, distribution doesn't matter. I still stand by that statement. I think it's a great statement because it forces you to think outside the box. It forces you to go, okay, what don't I like about this distro, and then changing it. Very important. Very, very important. Do you actually know how to use a computer? Yeah, depends on the day. Most of my life has been spent on a computer. Sad to say. I've been on a computer about 12 hours a day plus for, God, 20 years? 20 plus years? Something like that. Sometime in the mid-90s, I started spending at least 8 hours on a computer a day. Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate it. How many number of packages do you consider bloat? You're running with 773. KHW, you know, it doesn't matter to me. It's more about when I do like an H-top. I'm actually gonna kill this part. Flip back over for you guys. I just like to show off my transition. Hey, there's Sparkton. Sparkton subbed actually before this stream started, so it's cool to see him up there. But I just look at what I'm actually running, how it's actually using memory. Like right now I'm using like 4.6 because I got a whole bunch of crap going. And some of it I probably should kill. Oh, I've run in like Compton. This has actually been on for, what is my uptime? Oh, it's been up for 3 days and 5 hours. I don't ever close out of much of anything. I probably should kill some of this. Vivaldi, that's like running Chrome. I bet all of it's Chrome probably. I bet, yeah, I think I have a web browser up that's been running for days. Just imagine running Google Chrome for like 3 days and never closing any of your tabs. That's what that is. But like I said, that's the beauty of Linux, is it's just so darn secure, or so darn stable, I should say, that you can do that. On Windows, it would have crashed already. It would have been gone. So. Yeah. Did Clover. Oh, did you do it? Have you ever done DT when it comes to that? Have you ever done a Mac install and done like the Clover bootloader? I've messed around with it a bit and did a couple videos, and then I realized Apple has been copy striking channels that cover a lot of Hackintosh stuff. Margonaut, I think she has a really good Hackintosh channel, but she said she got 2 copyright strikes from Apple. So yeah, it's crazy. That's not creepy at all, beginner lockpit. I'm watching you in the shower. That could be taken the wrong way, for sure. Oh, I love it. Yeah, and Hackintoshes are good and all. A lot of the problems will arise when you go to update them. That's awesome, Bruce. I haven't heard any other channels actually saying distros don't matter yet, but I think the whole reason why I started that was, one, to teach people about that, because so many comments I'd get, appreciate the congratulations there, H-Top. So many comments I'd get, though, was about people saying, oh, well, you're never going to find that distro that you like. You're going to be back on Windows in a month. And I got that comment probably no less than 100 times in my first couple months on Linux. Everyone would go, hey, I tried Ubuntu, I tried Fedora, I tried Manjaro, and then they just list off all these different distros that they tried. And most times when they were listing off the distros, they'd go, I tried Ubuntu, I tried Linux Mint, I tried Pop! OS. And I'm like, that's the same damn distro in my opinion. I'm like, it uses the same package manager. It uses almost the same desktop environment, at least, Pop! OS and Ubuntu does. There's so little changes between each distro that you're literally wiping out your computer to install something that's almost identical. And I was like, God, if you would just modify it. And that's when I started coming up with the whole distros don't matter. And that's why I've kind of made that my mantra, to just kill that statement, because I haven't gotten that statement where people are like, hey, you're going to go back to Windows anytime now. And well, it could be that I'm a year in, but also the fact that I think I've made the point that no distro's good out of the box. No distro's perfect out of the box by any means. They're all kind of ugly ducklings to me. And it's really just maturing them and putting what you want on there, making efficient, making it great. And that's when it really becomes awesome and powerful and quick and productive and pick up efficiency. Insert many more buzzwords here that are just awesome. It's great. It's great. So that's just my thought. That's good. That's good that Luke Smith mentioned that. I like a lot of Luke's content. He's an odd cat, but I love Luke Smith. I love that little feud that I think DistroTube and Luke had there for a bit, where I think Luke made a video and it was like noobs run cat or something, and he was going on to why you shouldn't use cat, you should just grep right out of the terminal, and then I think DistroTube did like awk everything. It was great. I love that back and forth. I thought that was so great, because at the end of the day, it wasn't really about the content. It was about so many more people learned so much from both those videos. Like, I don't know jack about awk. Like, I've used it a little bit, and that was for me hacking around, looking at the help guides, and then using it for one or two commands, and I don't really use it that much. But I've been guilty of doing the cat, the file, pipe, grep, and then the command, and I've done that more than one occasion. So seeing both those videos was really cool, because so many people learned a ton from both. I thought it was fantastic. I think a lot of people missed how awesome I think that little back and forth was. I appreciated it. I thought that was fantastic for everyone. I'm looking to leave Ubuntu to their direction. Which is the most popular distro currently with an equal package support? So if you're looking for package support, Ubuntu actually does not have the best package support. I want to say that out loud. Almost everybody with Debian and also any Debian-based package, it's not the best for support. Arch will give you more package support than Debian will any day of the week, because you can actually use Debian packages and RPM packages on Arch. So yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize is Debian SID's good, but if you're looking for package support and just overall support, it's Arch. That's it. But if you want a noob, let's say you're not that familiar with Linux, I would say Manjaro is a good place to start. Manjaro is very Linux friendly, very beginner friendly. You get to choose whatever desktop environment you want, and you get access to AUR, so you can install pretty much everything. And Another fun fact with that is it has better performance in almost any game. So Arch-based distros just do a little bit better because everything runs a bit newer than an Ubuntu or a Debian-based distribution. So yeah, if you're looking to leave Ubuntu and you want a different experience, try Manjaro out of the gate if you're not really that familiar with Linux that much, because Manjaro is a bit more noob-friendly, less terminal work and things of that nature. But if you're really familiar with the terminal and you don't mind jumping in there, heck, I'd say go with Vanilla Arch. That's my favorite. I absolutely love Vanilla Arch. Oh, I run PPAs on Debian SID. That's bad. No, Penguin Revolution, no. You need to read the Debian-based article, Don't Break Debian. It says specifically, don't use PPAs on Debian. No, don't. No, it's a bad idea. It's horrible. Use Arch. I'm here to convert everybody to Arch. Do you think Manjaro is more stable than Arch? No. Asian games. I've actually run both, and it's about the same. Oh, I love it. I love it. But yeah, like the Zen installer from Arch Labs, it's pretty darn good. I do need to try that out because I've just been using the Archfy script, just grabbing the really bare bones installer from Arch. It's so great. God, I mean, it's like a 500 and something meg or maybe 600 meg ISO, and then you just do like a wget archfy.sf.net/sf or archfy, I think it is. I couldn't remember, but that's about the gist of the script. And you just download that script, run it, and then it pretty much just walks you through everything you need to do. Fun fact, on one of my last streams, I used that script. My SDA hard drive was actually my backup hard drive. So I kind of was flipping through because I told him I'd install it in less than 15 minutes. Yeah, I didn't make the 15-minute deadline, fun fact. And I also formatted my backup drive because, well, always check when you run a DD or format your drives. That's a good pro tip. Lastly, Xfce or Kde Plasma. Oh, they're so different. I love both. I can't choose between them. That's like, no, that's just two things I love. And they work so differently. I think they're both fantastic. I can't. If I had to choose one for a noob, I would choose KDE because it's more noob friendly. Xfce is more of an ugly duckling out of the box, and you got to kind of make it wonderful. But they're both great. They're absolutely both great. Yeah, I think someone has a soundbite of me saying that, Frank. I think it was because I had a UEFI install on my studio PC here, and I decided to install Windows on top of Arch, and I wanted to see what happened. I have 5 hard drives in there, so I was like, what happens if I just install Windows on a blank hard drive? And it does actually find that EFI partition, hunts it down, and then overrides it. So I think at the end, my soundbite was, make sure you unplug all your SATA drives before installing Windows. So, yeah, it's so great. Yeah, that's the command KHW. wget archfy. It still caught you in the spam filter, by the way. I love the spam filter from YouTube. It's crazy. What do you recommend for older computers? You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh at me. Get ready. For older computers, I recommend Lubuntu. With an L. LXDE Ubuntu's pretty darn lightweight, and it works really well for a whole host of hardware. Yes, it is based on Ubuntu, but damn, it works so good. I have to recommend it for a lightweight computer. If you, let's say you didn't want to use Ubuntu, or Lubuntu, I should say, Lubuntu, Peppermint would be my other one. So if it's a really old machine, I would typically use Peppermint or Lubuntu. Yeah, LXQT, it's amazing. In that desktop environment, it's about like 130 megs or something ridiculous. So you can install it and it works really, really good. It's really, really good. So great. You guys know you could correct my English all day long, and I'm still gonna say it wrong. I think I still get a comment at least one a week that I'll filter through my comments when I'm just browsing on my phone, and I'll always get the especiallys. I always like saying especially instead of especially. I don't know why. I know how to say especially, but I just like saying especially. So, yeah, one of these days. One of these days, maybe I'll get it. After about 1,000 more comments telling me not to say that. Yeah. You just gotta embrace your, creepiness over. I'm out of the shower. That's awesome. Oh, lordy. So great. That's okay, though. I mean, I don't mind. You know, I always tell people I don't even mind if someone's critical of me, as long as it's constructive criticism. I don't mind it. If I'm wrong about something, I love hearing about that comment. Now, it may not make me feel warm and fuzzy at the time I read the comment, but if it actually is factually accurate, it helps me. So, you know, I appreciate constructive criticism. But if someone's straight up trolling, well, you're gonna get banned. That's gonna be the last comment I see from you. So, yeah. But I mean, it's rare. I don't run into too many trolls. I actually ran into more trolls with a lot less subscribers. I think around like 5,000 subscribers to 25,000 subscribers. Man, it felt like I was running into a troll every other day during that. Oh, I know, Sparky, I'm an awesome derp. I have you made like how many emotes for the Discord server? I think there's like 20 emotes of all the different facial expressions I've done that you guys have turned into transparent, basically memes. I don't even want to know how those have been used. But yeah, so great. Idea for a video of Linux firewalls. Didn't I cover UFW? I think I covered UFW and IP tables. It's been a while since I've done IP tables because IP tables is depreciated now. So I pretty much do everything in UFW for folks because I think that's what is a little bit easier on the syntax. It's a little easier to get around in. But I could probably go with an update on my IP tables. Or not IP tables. UFW usage. For sure. Yeah. And yeah, Philippe, I agree with that. For sure. Wolfgang. Wolfgang has a good channel. What, is that the Wolfgang that has, I think he got like, what, 20k subs? Wolfgang's really good with the Linux community. I've watched a couple of his videos and I was like, dang, this kid knows his stuff. I dig it. So I forget what I was watching, but I remember running into Wolfgang's channel. I think, but it was really good. It was really good. He has a lot of really good content. Well, all right, guys. I think I'm gonna shut her down. I do have some plans for the holidays, but it's mostly staying local, so that's actually really good. But you know, I wanted to get on here. I said I'd do a 100K live stream on YouTube because, man, it's 100K, and I'm just so grateful for everybody's comments, questions, everything. Just so great. And before I let everyone go, Facebook's the devil. It's the absolute devil. It is Satan. I said it, you know, I was saying that kind of like tongue-in-cheek, but no, Facebook's the devil. I saw Doomer Guy's comment. I have to say that. Oh, but yeah, no. But I hope everybody has a great happy holidays. You know, Christmas time's upon us. Spend as much time as you can with your families. I'm gonna try and do the same. I've been trying to really spool up a bunch of content, so I'm gonna probably take a break, but I won't really take a break from YouTube per se, because all the videos are scheduled out. I've already scheduled about 4 videos coming up. I'm already into mid next week. I'm making like Christmas Day video tomorrow actually, so I won't be I won't be not posting for sure. I like to keep to my schedule. I'm a creature of habit, almost OCD-like, but I just appreciate everybody, and I just want to make this live stream, just say thank you guys. I'm super grateful having you watch the videos and just enjoying and giving me feedback and ideas for future videos, because a lot of these videos, I would say 75% of these videos wouldn't be made without you watching them, giving me comments and feedback, because I have just learned so much. Because I always get a compliment saying, hey, how did you learn Linux desktop so quickly? If you've only been on a year, holy crap, how'd you learn so much? And it's all thanks to you guys. It's all thanks to all the comments and feedback, and people even correcting little things I do. Like whether it's me running sudo su to switch user to root, or doing little things like that, and just seeing those comments going, hey, you noob, don't cat into grep, or whatever it might be. I love all that. So just a big thank you guys. It's been fantastic. I just look forward to making a lot more videos, a lot more content. And I don't want to change anything. I don't want to hire anybody. I don't really want to change anything with the channel. I just am super happy and grateful for what I have. And you know, I'm just loving how everything is set right now, and I just want to hold on to this as long as I can. And thank you guys. Have a wonderful evening, and again, happy holidays, and I'll see you in the next one.
Look to the sky, out to the stars. Believe what you find, no matter where you